This is Zachary Wester, a former sheriff's deputy accused of planting drugs on unsuspecting motorists during routine traffic stops.
I'm testifying to this jury today that the drugs were there. I did not put the narcotics there.
Wester's decided to take that gamble. Will he be able to convince a jury that he did his job by the book?
These were legitimate stops, and you found illegal narcotics.
Yes, sir.
Or will they believe he betrayed the very citizens he was entrusted to protect and serve?
The defense's approach in this case was to explain why the body cams may or may not have worked to dispute the theory that Mr. Wester turned him off at will strategically.
So, Mr. Wester, now we see you come around to the back seat, and your body camera appears to kind of go blank. We can't see what's going on. What's happening there?
So that's one of the disadvantages of me being 6'5", being so tall. Whenever I leaned into this vehicle, I guess my camera came in contact with the seat.
The defense did a good job of trying to show that if there was any discrepancy in what the body cam should have shown, it's explained away by his physical attributes, and there's nothing criminal or nefarious about that.
Let's move on to Stephen Van. Tell us about the search and where you found the narcotics in this case.
When I looked into the center console, I retrieved that baggie. When I opened it up and looked inside, it appeared to contain crystal methamphetamine. Have you ever seen this before?
No. No, what is that?
Let's hang out with Deputy Jackson here. He did deny that the narcotics were his.
This is where I actually agree with Zachary Wester, where everyone says the drugs are not theirs.
There ain't no way, man.
That gave Wester a little bit of credibility.
Turn your attention to Trevor Day.
Okay.
Crystallized residue and other items that you found around the vehicle. Did you plant any of that in there?
No, I did not.
Richard Triggers.
Did you plant methamphetamine in his vehicle?
I did not.
Benjamin Bowling. The methamphetamine that you found in that vehicle, did you plant it there?
I did not.
Zachary Wester's explanation that he did not plant the drugs is almost verbatim for each of the 12 victims in the case.
Derek Benefield, James Fears, Maria Turner. The methamphetamine that you found in the vehicle, did you plant that there?
The defense is hoping rings true in the ears of the jury because it's always the same.
I did not, no. No, I didn't. No, I did not.
He said nothing happened, and you have no concrete evidence that he planted evidence.
Methamphetamine is very prevalent in Jackson County.
He took pride in what he was doing. He thought that he was getting harmful people and drugs off the street.
I've seen firsthand the destruction that methamphetamine has on families. In my job as a deputy sheriff, I wanted to be as proactive as I could. I wanted to keep from methamphetamine running more rampant than it already is and affecting other families and affecting kids. That was a slick move, man. Very, very slick.
That ain't mine, man.
Go ahead and put your hands
No,
up.
hell no, that ain't mine.
Do not do this.
With over a dozen witnesses testifying about his alleged corruption and a body cam that sure did malfunction a lot, one might think that the state's case would be a slam dunk. But Wester was cool, confident, and convincing in his direct examination. And he only needs one juror to believe his actions were not unlawful to get a hung jury. So it really does all come down to the cross-examination and whether the prosecution can break down a defiant Wester.
Now, on Mr. Emanuel's video, we've seen it. It's a partial video. Do you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
How did that happen?
After the body camera had experienced what I believe is what's called a reset function, the camera was back operational. I was able to double tap the center button and the video started recording as it should.
He would turn his body cam on when it suited him, and it would be turned off anytime that he could be doing something that might not have been in line.
So we're talking about a little bit of over in the vehicle and you made the statement, I know you want to search it. Okay.
Why would he have consented to a search before you ever even asked about it? and then left a console open if he knew methamphetamine was in there?
Unfortunately, most people don't understand that you have a constitutional right to deny consent to a search of the vehicle.
Consent to search was huge in this trial because that's what allowed Zachary Wester to search these vehicles. A lot of these victims also said, I have nothing to hide, go ahead and search me.
Why would Mr. Van, before you've ever asked about a search, agree to a search and get out of the car and leave that console door open if he had meth in there?
Hey, man, if I know that was in there, you think I'd tell you go here and search, man? Come on, man, really?
I don't believe I can offer an accurate explanation to the jury based on that. I wasn't in Mr. Van's head at the time.
The one thing juries always look at is how they react on cross-examination. He was twitching. His eyes were moving back and forth.
To the jury and to other people in the courtroom, it came across as nerves. You could also tell that he was sweating.
He did not look as confident. I think he was starting to get scared.
Zachary Wester's been charged with a whopping 67 counts, including felony racketeering, which could put him behind bars for decades.
With racketeering, you're almost saying it's like a criminal enterprise, that you are committing these acts, in this case, Zachary Wester, of planting drugs in a way towards moving an enterprise in a positive direction. That being either him advancing his career, getting more arrests.
The jury will now have to decide if the body cam footage clearly showed Wester planting drugs, and if the testimony of 12 alleged victims were credible enough to convict Wester of all or some of the counts.
We, the jury, find as follows as to the counts charged and the information.
We were hoping the racketeering charge would stick because we knew that if he was going to serve any real amount of time, that one was going to be the one that would put him away.
Count 1. Guilty of racketeering as charged.
Right then, I was so relieved and happy that at least that one went our way. And then they started reading through the other charges against him.
Count 2, not guilty. Count 3, not guilty. Count 4, not guilty.
And you start to think, oh no, this isn't going well. Why are they saying not guilty so much?
Count 35, not guilty. Count 36, not guilty.
To the defense attorney's credit, he had a significant amount of not guilty verdicts.
Count 40, not guilty.
Zachary Wester was found guilty on 19 out of the 67 charges, so not even half of the charges was he found guilty. And he was only found guilty on charges relating to 3 of the victims, Stephen Van, Joshua Emanuel, and Teresa Odom. They were the 3 witnesses with the most compelling evidence. Unfortunately, with all the other cases, it was hard for this jury to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did what it was alleged that he did.
And so then the conversation turned more into, what's the sentence going to be like?
You can be found guilty and have probation. You can be found guilty and do 6 days in jail. It was a roller coaster as we watched this from beginning to end and even up into the sentencing.
And now, on July 13, 2021, almost 3 years to the date from the launch of the investigation, a judge will decide Zachary Wester's fate.
It is the intention of the court that you are sentenced to serve a total of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections.
I doubt he'll serve the full 12 and a half, but he got time. At least he can't be a cop again. He can't ever wear a badge, and he won't be able to do this to anyone else. And we can find some sort of solace in that.